Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner Davis.
And good evening to everyone. Welcome to WCM Live, right here on WCM Live. I'm your host, Ed McQueen, and our fabulous co-host is working behind the scenes this evening, doing all the important work. Okay, the real important work. So we're happy to have you as viewing us tonight, and it's of course in observance of Black History Month. You may call it 1 month, but we say Black History every year. Okay, that's 365 days to the year. But we thought that we could continue on during the month of February with all the information that leads up to Black History events and so forth, so that we can keep you in tune to what's going on regarding Black history, especially in Horry County. But this is worldwide since we're on Facebook. And so this evening, as you noted in our promo, that we're going to put a focus on what Black history was being played by Whittemore Elementary and High Schools. And it was great. So we would like to kind of reflect upon that with some of the things that are going on that's still impacting us. Number one, we've had we invited and she's accepted. We invited our school board member, none other than Mrs. Janet Graham, and she's been very active and very competent, very just wonderful for Horry County over a number of years, and she's going to be back up for election again this year. So please keep in tune of all the great work that she's been doing. We have her with us to put a focus on something that just developed, that we've been seeking for a long time to happen, regarding one of our Whittemore alumni members, and he's deceased now. But I'd like to just focus on Mr. Willie Grate. He was a Whittemore 1965 Whittemore graduate, and he was such magnificent person in the sports arena that he was signed to a scholarship to South Carolina State College, and I think it was a full scholarship, and subsequently went on to the pros, the NFL pros. During that time, it was the Buffalo Bills, Houston Oilers. So we want to get you acquainted with this gentleman for another generation that I'm assuming that does not know too much about him, but it was. He played an important part in Whittemore, especially the sports arena, during those years. Okay, so we have someone here, like I said, Miss Janet Thompson, to give us some good news dealing with Mr. Willie Grate himself and how he's going to be remembered, and to bring him back into focus. So without ado, I just want to have Miss Janet Graham would come with us today, and here she is, to kind of further elaborate and not just an update, but it's more than an update, to give us some the process that they had to go through and what it took to get this event done. And she's going to tell you about what was done right now. So without further ado, Miss Janet Graham. Janet, are you there? I see your face. So, Ms. Graham. Okay. So Miss Graham's probably is trying to. She wanted to tell us about this very much, and I'm sure she's trying her best to correct whatever needs to be corrected there. So, so what it is, the Conway Advisory Board of the Horry County School Board approved and the proclamation for to honoring Willie Chocolate Grate. Okay, and they chose the venue of the school that he attended, which was Whittemore High School, and was subsequently turned into Whittemore Park. And now it is the Rivertown Complex. That's where the location is. So, and they elected to name the gymnasium. The gymnasium is still there where he played. They elected to name the gymnasium after him. So he, after he took a scholarship, like I said, he went on to the pros, and Mr. Grate was drafted by the Houston Oilers and went on to play with the Buffalo Bills. So we're going to, as we await Ms. Graham, she has some very important information on that, and I'm certainly glad. Let me just hold on a second here. So, so let's go back to Ms. Graham right now. Okay, I think we can do that. Okay, or well, we'll come back to her anyway. And later on, as we get the information from Ms. Graham, later on we're going to have the opportunity to get some very information regarding Whittemore again, but this is Whittemore Elementary School by none other than the CEO of the organization called the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, which has been a pivotal role in regaining some of the things that everybody thought was going to be lost, and the issue is still in front. Regarding the property of where the old Whittemore Elementary School used to be, and that would be Miss Cheryl Adamson, and she has some very good information that was just garnered, and stuff that the what's been accumulated, what's been gotten from the local authorities. So just getting back to Ms. Graham, let me, I can kind of fill you in on oh, here she is. Is she back again? Are you back, Ms. Graham? It's okay. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Excuse me. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Awesome. I'm so sorry. I'm having all kinds of technical problems on this end. I got machines everywhere. I'm sorry.
So, all right. That's all right. So we're human, and we're gonna be making those kind of shortcomings, I guess. Okay, but I'm glad. We're certainly glad you're on. Certainly glad you're on.
I apologize. I'm so sorry. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm really honored to be in this historical observance, and I feel really blessed that you asked me to explain some of this. So I heard you give a little bit of background on Mr. Grate, and he was born in Georgetown, but he went to school in Conway at Whittemore, and he graduated from there and went on to do all those great things in the two sports, basketball and football.
Right.
So I was approached 6, maybe 8 months ago by Miss Joella McQueen about us honoring him in some way. So
Yeah,
I said, well,
well,
that's a fantastic idea. Let's see what we can get done.
yeah.
So, of course, nothing ever happens very easily when you're dealing with any kind of huge entity like a school district, especially one as big as Horry County Schools.
Right.
So we had to go through the process. So you wanted me to speak a little bit about what that process was.
Yes, if you would.
Well, when I was approached with the idea, I had to find out for sure what our procedure was at Horry County Schools when we name or rename an official building. In order for us to do that, any kind of facility or building, it has to come before the board, and the board must approve that. But before it gets to the board, any kind of adjunct facility like a gym, such as this one, has to go at first to the School Improvement Council.
Yeah.
But the Rivertown Complex had been changed from Whittemore Park Middle School to a complex. And because it's not a school, it does not have a School Improvement Council.
Yeah.
So because it didn't have a School Improvement Council, it went straight to the advisory board. And that's the stop that it makes before it gets to the full board. So there are a couple of steps, a couple of places that that request has to go
Right.
before it even gets to the board for consideration. So our advisory board met on October 7th, and we didn't have enough persons there for a quorum, so we couldn't vote then. So we met the next week with advisory board members only. We had 7 of our 8 members present,
Right.
and they voted unanimously when we explained who he was and what we wanted. They voted unanimously to rename the Rivertown Complex gym to the Willie Chocolate Grate Gymnasium. So the persons that were on the advisory board were our mayor, Barbara Bellamy. She serves on our advisory board. Miss Jean Burden, Stephen Glenn, Miss Sonia Jones, Bernita Platt, Susanna Prosser, and Lindy Williams. Those were the ones that were present, and all of them voted unanimously for the renaming.
Sounds good.
So after it gets through the advisory board, well, I left out a step. Then it had to go to the facilities committee for them to review it and consider it. Well, I asked Mr. Neil James, who was the chair, to sit in for me because I wasn't there to present it. I gave him all the information. He presented it to the board. You can go online, the committee, I'm sorry. You can go online and listen to that if you like. But all of the committee members agreed unanimously to send it up to the board for consideration. And those committee members were Chairman Neil James, Melanie Willens, James Edwards, and Darrell Ricketts. And that was on October 20th. So our next board meeting was November 3rd. That was our discussion meeting, our work session. That's where we discussed stuff. So it came up at that meeting. We explained to them what we wanted, who he was. We gave them the information. We talked about it. And then at the next meeting on the 17th is when we actually bring it forth for the vote and more discussion if there is any. When we got to that meeting, everybody voted for it there as well. And you can go online and see that as well. So it's not a simple process. It takes a while to get through the process. But if there's a worthy individual such as Mr. Grate, and you can push it forward, I did all I could, then we got it done.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Officially, it is now the Willie Chocolate Grate Gymnasium. So now we have to get into the actual naming, putting the name on the facility and all of that. So I approached them about having a simple ceremony, like a naming ceremony.
Right.
to commemorate and honor him, and maybe to have some of his family, if there are any around, to come and help celebrate with us.
All right.
So right now we have our facilities department at Horry County Schools and our communications department are working collaboratively on a program that we can put together to honor him and to do a reveal for however we're going to put the signage. I won't say anything because it might not be what I say. So we'll just wait and see. But I'm thinking that because his birthday is May 25th, that we can do it in May. That would give us plenty of time to get it planned. However, the 25th is Memorial Day. So I'm thinking we'll probably have it sometime before his birthday in May. And we would be bringing you more information on that, hopefully very soon. The final piece is that I was talking with communications also, and they approached Principal Quintina Livingston about us honoring him also in the legacy room at Whittemore Park Middle School. And she is she's on board with that. She likes the idea. And so we're going to be doing something with that as well. So the communications department will be involved in that too, with however we commemorate him. So there's a lot going on. We're working on it. We haven't dropped the ball, but I'm really excited about it and really looking forward to it, and very happy that you guys brought this to us and that we have so many community members involved and that we could bring it to fruition.
Well, you can credit all this to Mrs. Joella McQueen.
Yes.
You all had conversations back and forth, and I was, so busy doing other things, but she was quite bent on doing that, and
Yes.
I can respect that. I can respect it because he played a pivotal role in other athletes at Whittemore and also at South Carolina State, because when he went there, he was inducted posthumously into the South Carolina State University Hall of Fame in 2008 for pro basketball and football. I mean, so the reflections upon him is really glowing, and I think our generations that are coming up really need to know that the production of Whittemore alumni that had from the school of Whittemore High School. He was definitely a stellar athlete in both basketball and football in high school. And so he went on to college level and did the same thing in basketball and football. Unfortunately, and there he is. Thank you so much, April. Unfortunately, he transitioned in 1980 at the age of 33 years old. It was a sad time. I mean, he was playing in pro football, I believe, at the time. And there you see that photo where Mrs. Moore standing over him, and on his right of him was the coach at that time, Mr. Coach Richardson, as I recall his name. I wasn't here at the time, but that's what the photo that they took. I think that's something that's something great and monumental of what you all have approved to do for that gymnasium. I don't know what the future looks like regarding the gymnasium existence or what they're going to do there. Could you enlighten us on that? Do you have any kind of inkling of projections from people, from any of the people, of what might occur in the next 5, 10, 15 years? Or what kind of master plan would that be included upon?
Well, I've not seen anything with any indication that the Rivertown Complex will not be there. We are planning for it to be there.
Right.
But things do change. So
right.
All I can say right now is that, as far as I know, it's it's supposed to be there. We're planning for it to be there and serving the purposes of what it's doing right now.
Right.
The cool thing is that the gym is open to the public. It's there for the community, and that's awesome. That's wonderful.
Yes.
And the building's being used right now for adult ed and ROTC, I believe. So it's being used, and we can use it more. And now we're going to be honoring Willie Chocolate Grate when we go in the building and see it. So that's wonderful. And I would ask, I don't have one of those pictures with him with the football. So whatever anybody has that they would like to share, I would like to get it to our communications department.
Right. There's some more stuff. Not a whole lot, but that I know of anyway. But I'd like to ask Ms. Graham about the input that would be limited, or how much input would be gotten from the community in terms of the signage. You mentioned that you didn't use the word signage, but you mentioned that they were going to put up, something indicating that the gym is named after him. So if we were, for example, I'll say we, I'm talking the community. If the community was to come up with a design, and I'm sure that a cost will be motivating, will be the factor here. But if the community can come up with a design and location of a sign indicating that this is Willie Grate's gym is named after him, would you think that would be welcome? Could you give us a little information on that? Community involvement.
Well, we always love for the community to be involved. So if you have a design or suggestions that you would like to submit, just get them to me and I will give them to communications and they would take it under consideration. However, with that in mind, there is, like, Horry County Schools has a brand, just like, Pepsi has a brand, and
right.
Tide has a brand, and Target has a brand. So it has to fit within the parameters of brand image, I guess is what I'm saying. So, do the schematic of what you want, or the mock-up of what you want, and then they can work that in maybe with what works for the district or what they had in mind, because I think they've got, some pretty good ideas of things to do. So we don't want to limit them, but we do want to incorporate what the community wants. So if you don't mind, just send me what you have, and I'll be glad to forward that up to our communications persons.
I think our next guest who's coming on, I think they can be very instrumental in coming up with some things design, whatever. And I think they would be willing to participate and provide some resources in order to make that a very efficient looking and, just a classy sign for that gymnasium. So, and I'm talking about, then this Ms. Cheryl Adamson, she has.
I might be prejudiced, but I will say that our school communication department is stellar. They've won so many awards all over the nation for the material that they put out and the quality of what they deliver.
Yeah.
So we don't want to tie their hands in their genius in what they do.
Absolutely not.
But we do want our person to be represented fairly. So in all due respect to your department, I don't. What I'm saying is that an organization like the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, they have accumulated, and their research, both physically and spiritually, have been attained greatly since their inception about 3 years ago, and they would have a lot. So let's not I won't discount them working with your department on a grand scale in order to really come up with something that's going to be elaborate. Yeah. But again, I'm sure they would take any and all suggestions. That we do not stop anybody from helping us to do what needs to be done. But
Good,
at
good,
the end of
great.
the day, they're gonna do it to fit in with the aesthetics and the overall brand, I guess, of Horry County Schools. And if we look back at what has happened with the Legacy Room, I will give that as an example. I think that was done top notch, top shelf, magnificently. So they are going to give it what more than it's due. I think they're going to give it their all.
Yeah,
And I
well,
think at the
yeah,
yeah, at the
yeah,
end of the
that's right.
day, I
I'm
think
sure.
I'm I'm giving them a lot of praise, but because
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
their work. But at the end of the day, I think we'll all be really, really happy. I think what the Historical Society, they've done a magnificent job, open to everything they have. I'm sure a lot of the pictures and information that we have came from there. Thank you. Yeah, let's do it. Let's work together.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure. I don't foresee any major issues there.
No, no.
Because of the magnitude of the situation.
Yeah, I just don't
We're
want to make
naming.
any promises
Yeah,
that I can't deliver on because I'm not communications. That's somebody else's department, and we are charged not to dabble in people's departments. We set policy, so I try to keep my hands clean as possible.
it's a good policy. Uh, it's a good
Just
policy.
let us know what you need or what you'd like to have or how
Yeah.
what you have in mind, and then we'll go from there.
Well, that's good. That sounds fantastic. You've been so receptive this evening, and also been very forthright in spilling out the information that I think most of our viewers really want to hear, especially the alumni, Whittemore alumni members. They should. We expect to hear a lot from them based on tonight's broadcast. Because everybody knew chocolate. I'm just going to say chocolate. Yeah.
Well, Mayor Bellamy was very when we spoke to the advisory board, I asked her to kind of say a few words because she went to school with him. That went a long way. Everybody's on board with it, but if anybody has any questions online now or afterwards, just feel free to reach out.
Yeah, well, I got to give some credit to who's been doing some hard work and communicating with you, and she has put some tasks upon me from making posters and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
None other than Joella.
She keeps you on task, but she's very sweet about it. Very sweet with it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I thank her for it. Thank you.
I'm sure she thinks if she could come online, that she would. Yeah. So look again. Thank you so much for sharing this important information, and we're certainly looking forward. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to working with your group and whomever you have assigned directed to us there. They're looking forward to doing that, and to me, I'm just envisioning something that's really going to be a standout for a long time, and I can't wait. You talk. I guess you talked about two types of celebration. One would be at the Whittemore Legacy before the suggested May time of really having some ceremony dedicating that.
I don't know when that would be. I don't know if they're going to do it all on the same day. Okay. I can't speak to that yet because they don't have it all together yet.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have one just before that, just to make sure that we're covering all bases and make sure that everybody, as many people as possible, know about that. I'll
pass that along.
Yeah, just. They have Cultural Day at Whittemore. I guess I'm trying to make that synonymous with Cultural Day at Whittemore High School. Conway High School, and have something on that magnitude where they celebrate certain people in the community and stuff like that once a year. From what I've seen since I've been here.
Okay, that would definitely have to be sanctioned by the principal.
Yeah. It's just suggestion. I'm throwing it out there to our viewers. But so glad that to have you with us this evening, and I want everybody to know that you look just like that face that's on there.
Not right now. Thank you. Thank y'all for having me this evening.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. Okay. And Godspeed. Like I said earlier, that our guest was coming on to kind of add some more spirit to Black History Month right here in Horry County, especially. So, and I mentioned earlier while during our conversation with Miss Graham about the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, which has been quite instrumental in upholding and keeping that legacy, including the one on Willie Chocolate Grate. So, and the person that was who's the CEO of that is Miss Cheryl Adamson, and I think she's ready to come on. I guess she is ready to come on.
Hey.
So how are you, Ms. Reverend Adamson?
Hey, all is well on this end. How about with you all?
Yeah, all is well. Just waiting on all this good information that you have to convey to our audience regarding all the things that have been done since our last talk regarding the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society and this upcoming gala. I want to hear about that because the past two galas, or you have two, right? Just been fantastic, and it gets better and better every time, every year.
Well, we have a short track record of 2 years. This will be our third annual Heritage Gala, and we're excited about it. Our chairperson is Sister Valerie Skipper, and she is very diligent. She's quite a taskmaster. She keeps us on our toes, and we're moving toward the date of Saturday, April the 25th, for our third Heritage Gala by the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society. So we certainly want to encourage each of you to hurry up and get your tickets. They'll be available after this weekend. We want you to get with any member of the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society. The tickets are $65. You know, you can hardly get a meal for $65 at a restaurant.
But you're going to get more than that at the gala, I mean, right?
Well, you know, we're trying to consider what our community is willing to pay. Yeah. So the tickets are now $65, and certainly we have opportunities for sponsorships. If the ticket is $65, you're certainly welcome to pay $250 for that ticket, because that is going to help us with all of the things that we do, all of the educational pursuits that we have, all of our guests that we bring in from around the state and the nation. For example, we were co-sponsors with the Horry County Museum and the South Carolina Humanities Council back on February 7th at the Horry County Museum. We had the slave dwelling project. Yeah. And with Mr. Joseph McGill, who is a native of Kingstree, South Carolina. And of course, that was very, very informative and very well attended. One of the highest attended events at the museum. There were 125 people of all kinds of backgrounds. There were people at that event from McClellanville, from Charleston, from Georgetown, from Columbia, from Little River, on into North Carolina, who attended that event, because it is of such historical significance. So we really appreciate all the persons who were able to join us there. We were able to sponsor, because of the support that you've given us, we were able to be financial co-sponsors of the speaker, and Whittemore Racepath Historical Society provided the reception for the community. So that was a very good event. And of course, when people get to the museum, they want to look around. My little 6-year-old granddaughter, she had to see everything that was at the museum. So that was excellent. And then, of course, this past Saturday, we partnered with Coastal Carolina University in the Gullah Geechee Community Day. And with that, we had a presentation on the program where we began our first community conversation regarding an African-American pictorial history of Horry County that we are endeavoring to do with the help of the community. So at that time, we were able to discuss with people what it is they wanted to see in a book that we all would produce together. We looked at what kind of legal forms people would have to sign releases in order for their work to be included. We talked about how we're going to be able to upload the pictures digitally so that we don't have to borrow or take anybody's family photographs, but we can just digitize them and put them in a book. So we're hoping that people from every village and hamlet in Horry County will join us in this endeavor so that we can put together a book. Atlantic Beach has already done one. So has Columbia. So has Lower Richland. So has Georgetown County. African Americans have come together and put together a book that kind of tells our story. So we would like to begin this project on March the 15th, and we're hoping to have the first draft of this project by early next year. So that's the African American Pictorial History of Horry County. And we're asking you to pull out your old photographs. I had lots of photographs. I had a beautiful photograph of Reverend Singleton. He looked so sophisticated and so demure. I said, oh no, that won't be the one we put in the book because we have to put one that really shows his personality. We've got a picture of Cherry Hill. We got a picture of McLeod's Bar and Grill. We got pictures of Wright's Grocery Store. So we want pictures that depict our true life, our homes, our schools, our churches, organizations, families from every corner of Horry County. So we're asking people to be in touch with like Joella, your wife, Priscilla, Carolyn Hickman Williams, Edna DeWitt, anybody that you know in the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, or if you would like to become a member or just a collaborator, just a friend of Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, we really would like your input on what we're going to produce. I guess I'll take a breath there and let you ask me something.
You know, I think your request and that you put out there for people to submit anything that's relative to that. You know, something I get the impression that there's a lot of stuff out there that people just put it in their closet somewhere. I'm discovering that people had old band uniforms and all that kind of stuff, you know, and I don't know if we had the capacity to place a value on a lot of those things at the time when they were being thrown away by people who were taking everything away and didn't care. Okay.
Right.
And I'm not blaming us, people, but you know, I guess we've always been under the impression that something that's always like that, you just discard it and say, well, we're delving into something new now. Integration is taking place, you know. Yeah. So, but I think there's a lot of stuff out there, Cheryl. I think there's a lot in terms of photos and everything. But we just have to, I guess, sacrifice some time, and I've been certainly doing it. Okay, some time to getting in contact with some people, and I kind of like ask them as much as possible. Sometimes you got to force them because they'll tell you that, well, I've got photos in my storage that I'm renting someplace and miles away. And I just don't have the time to go in and do so. And you just got to stay on them. Okay.
Yeah.
But if they can have old photos like that, then no doubt they must have something relative to Racepath 501, 378, and
Little River, Burgess,
yeah,
Bucksport, Aner, Cool Springs, all the places. We want to lift up all of our communities because we are Gullah Geechee people. Being Gullah Geechee, the corridor runs not just north and south, it runs east and west. And so we are halfway in the corridor because the corridor is 30 miles from the coast. So we have got to learn about and then teach others about the value of this Gullah Geechee heritage that
Absolutely.
we have. My father-in-law was a little bit further away in King Street, but my father-in-law sounded like he'd just gotten off of the boat in terms of his dialect.
Right.
But it's not just the way that you speak that determines whether or not you're Gullah Geechee. It is the origins of your people and the kinds of lifestyle that they live.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you mentioned that corridor. See, even though you said it's 30 miles from the coast, and I think Marjorie could probably attest to this, but it goes from Jacksonville.
From Jacksonville to Jacksonville.
Jacksonville to Jacksonville.
From Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Jacksonville,
Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And this generation that's coming up, they need to know that. They really need to know that what they have, and what's there for potentially entrepreneurship, okay, economic stability. All that stuff is built into that for that to happen. And it can
Well,
happen.
listen, it is a part of, and this will lead us into another aspect of the reason that I'm here is, you remember the adage that used to be, if you want to hide something from Black people, write it down.
No, not right. Right now, you put it in a book.
So, well, yeah, put it in a book. So write it down. Well, a book that a lot of stuff that we have not availed ourselves of is the 2035 City of Conway Comprehensive Plan. You can go on the City of Conway's website and get documents, and you can do a word search, a keyword search, and find anything related to Whittemore on there. So I did this. I went to the library, pulled up the 2035 City of Conway Comprehensive Plan. On page 20 of that comprehensive plan, and this was to begin in the year 2019, there's an objective that says seek to understand, preserve, and capitalize. You know what capitalize means, right? That is turn into a moneymaker on Conway's historical and contemporary ties to the Gullah Geechee culture. And within that, it says the strategies are to document the relationship between Conway and the Gullah Geechee culture. This is to be ongoing. Next is to collaborate with community partners to develop a system for oral history documentation and encourage contributions from citizens. That is to be ongoing. Place digital and or physical markers of local sites of Gullah Geechee cultural significance, such as cemeteries and churches and other things, as more information about these locations come to light. Ongoing. Encourage growth of cultural tourism. That's capitalizing. In order to educate the public about Gullah Geechee culture in Conway, and then continue to partnerships with organizations that support the city's economic and cultural health. Well, when we were advocating for the Whittemore Elementary School, that was a part of our rationale for preserving the building. Because of our heritage, we could turn that into historical tourism and thereby create a money-making space that would fit what the city has written in its comprehensive plan. Then they go on with another objective, and that is to create places where children are exposed to cultural resources, educated about Conway's history, and have opportunities to explore their talents and creativity. And a part of what we're advocating for the Whittemore Elementary School site, as opposed to this last thing that they have proposed, that is the Whittemore Park Sports Complex, is to say to them, our children do more than bounce a ball. I think bouncing balls is wonderful. I think hitting a ball is wonderful. I think throwing a ball is wonderful. But our children, including those children who are athletic, also need cultural and creative outlets as well as academic outlets. And so they have it in their plan that they are to do this. And they say they can do this by supporting cultural programs for quote unquote at-risk youth, which we know all of our children are at risk, that involve artists and scholars in partnership with cultural organizations and institutions. Turn over to the next page, and they have promote Conway's historic preservation efforts to further cultivate our historic buildings, sites, and structures as cultural and economic resources. And they were to pursue the recommendations of the New South Historic and Architectural Survey, create a local historic designation for Racepath and Whittemore Park neighborhoods. And so when you realize that people that are in the administration of Conway City are statewide and national preservationists, but then when it comes to Whittemore Elementary School site, suddenly they lose their preservation zeal. And we get the loss of that building that our community suffered. But in their own plan, the city had actively support historic building reuse projects. And the first strategy that they had down was support the adaptive reuse of the former Whittemore Elementary School into a community center. So here we are now with plans having been laid out by, it appears, or when you ask the mayor and the members of the city council, that is the 7 council persons, that includes the mayor, how it is that that sign got up on the Whittemore Elementary School property saying, history is being made here, future site of the Whittemore Park Sports Complex. That was precisely what we did not want to be on that property, and is precisely not what they had written in their 2035 strategic plan. But it comes to find out that in spite of those plans being written, in June of 2023, they had already begun to ask for preliminary plans to be made of a sports complex on that site. And that was before we had the task force. So, you know, it's incongruous, the answers that we get when we challenge them about who is authorizing the use of that property for something other than what the community wants. And just today, another investigation, I went to and found the 2025 Conway Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And I'm telling you, this is all public knowledge. There's nothing hidden about this. But September 2025, you can find it on the website, or you can ask to be given a copy of it. The 2025 Conway Parks and Recreation Master Plan. I have the budget for Whittemore Elementary property, and it reads thusly: Park Development Plan, determine best configuration of elements. That short-range plan will cost, in the first 0 to 2 years, $10,000. The next entry is 3 to 5 years, entry arch, $30,000. Parking lot, $540,000. Paved perimeter trail, $300,000. Public shelters, $180,000. For a grand total in 3 to 5 years of $1,360,000. For years 6 through 10, there is basketball court number 1, $60,000. Community building with restrooms, $2 million. Full-size multipurpose rectangular fields with lighting, $1.5 million, for a total of $3,560,000. And then that's over the 6 to 10 years, and the total for all those that I read for you: $10,000, $30,000, $540,000, $300,000, $180,000, $310,000, $60,000, $2 million, $1.5 million, for a grand total of $4,930.
Is that over 10 years?
For the over 10 years, for what they want to put there, but they can't do what we want to do there because it'll cost too much. So I'm sharing this with you to say there are about 30,000 people that live in the city limits of Conway. On any given election day, you will not have 5,000 people that go out to vote. Those other 25,000 people, and it's more than that because in some elections it's like 2,500, 3,500 people that vote. That means that other people really don't care what the city does. And if it's that many people who don't care, nobody would be offended by them doing what we ask them to do at that site. And they can figure out with the political will, if one person decided, the person who has the ability to make the decision decided that they wanted to do what we wanted done, it would happen. So if those of you who live in the city of Conway don't care what happens at Whittemore Elementary School site, then that's your outcome. But there are those of us who don't even live in the city limits, who don't directly have a say in what happens in the city. If you all don't say anything, nothing's going to be done. And all I'm saying to you is, if over 25,000 people in Conway say what the city is doing is just fine, we don't care, they can do whatever they want to do, they can just as easily do what we want done, and nobody's gonna fuss about it because they don't really care. People on the other side of town wouldn't care if they did something for us, which is why I don't understand why it would hurt anyone to do what we're asking them to do, to put up a center that promotes and supports the history that was made at the Whittemore Elementary School site. So I want to encourage you. The city is about to go into a budget retreat beginning next Wednesday. So a week from today, you have time to call your city council person and to tell them that we cannot be the only people in America that can't figure out how to get something done. I just don't believe that we're that backwards or we're that stupid, that if we don't know what to do, that we can't ask somebody. We've got children with musical talents that have nowhere to learn how to play the piano, the guitar, the drum. We have children who can write. We have children who can act. We have children who can sing. We have children who can do a lot of things, but there's no place for them to do it. Somebody has to be concerned about our children. And we have to do it together. We don't have to like each other. We need to love each other, but we don't have to be best friends to work together to make something happen.
Absolutely. Well said, Reverend Adamson. And I can see why you're in such a leadership position at the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society.
I was drafted.
You're back. You come up with some good research and for people and information for us to digest, for everybody to digest, and there's something to think about. And I think we appreciate that. Because I haven't heard it from anybody else before. Okay, so for you to endeavor that kind of compilation of data, I think is great. I don't think we can thank you enough for my word I like to use, propagating that kind of information out to our public and our viewers. Okay, so having said that, I want to wish you all the best, and to our viewers, we all should benefit by making sure that we have a say in some of these decisions that's supposed to be taking place, and take some time off and participate. Okay, having said that, so thank you so much.
All right.
Reverend Adamson, and I'm sure we will have you back on again for an update.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're going to bring something new to the table. You always do.
All right, now.
All right.
That's my job.
Okay. Thank you so much. Same bad channel.
Same bad times.
And thanks to Janet again, if you're still listening. Certainly glad to have you on as our guest today. We'll see you everybody next week. Good night.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook.